Welcome everyone. Today's topic is the shotgun offense. I'd like to start off our talk on the shotgun offense by giving you some examples of our base formations. In this first example here, this is our base gun formation. We label this gun. Whenever we have two backs in the backfield along with the quarterback, we are in what we call our gun formation. In this set here, our basic depths are going to be 5 yards. These people are going to be approximately 5 yards deep, and the quarterback can actually be a little deeper than the two running backs, perhaps even at 6. But again, this is our basic gun formation, and we can run any type of base formation along with the gun set. Gun just simply tells us that we're in the shotgun with the quarterback, and that we have two backs in the backfield accompanying the quarterback. Note here, this would be, for our terminology, gun twins right. So we've got a twins to the right, and we're in gun. So that's our basic gun formation. In this example here, note now that there's only one back. There's only one back in the backfield with the quarterback. When we have a situation like this, we call that our pistol formation. Once again, gun formation is two backs in the backfield. Pistol formation is one back in the backfield in the shotgun set. And here again, we've got a trips right with an open. So this would be pistol, trips right, open. In a situation where we've emptied the backfield except for the quarterback in the shotgun set. For example, if B was aligned over here and the quarterback is all alone in the backfield by himself, we simply call this our bullet formation. That's our bullet formation. When we begin to break down our pass offense from any of the shotgun formations, we basically first break it down into what we refer to as areas that we are attacking certain coverages. And what we do with the shotgun offense is we attack what we call cover 1 and or cover 3. And all that tells us is that we've got a free safety in the middle of the field. A cover 1 look for us basically is a man-free type situation where perhaps we're man under, we have man under coverage plus a free safety. A cover 3 look would be a true 3 deep look with these corners and the safety providing a 3 deep zone. We include those two coverages together when discussing attacking defensive secondaries from the shotgun pass offense. Our base technique for attacking cover 1 and cover 3 is that we want to stretch the the defense. We want to stretch the defensive secondary by always forcing the middle zone defender to choose a side and hopefully clear him deep. For example, in this formation here, we're in our pistol formation and we've got twins to either side. Some people call this doubles formation, whatever the case may be. But to give you an example, if X on the outside releases on a deep go route, as does Y, we have now simply stretched the defensive secondary, and we want to stretch this defender, clear him deep, and make him choose. We would like to make him choose a side as to which route is he going to cover. Which route is he going to cover? And that's our base technique when attacking cover 1 and cover 3. We want to stretch the defense and make that middle zone defender choose the side in a true cover 3 look, or if it was a man-free situation, we want him to do the same thing. Now, by doing that, we've already freed up these underneath receivers to do stuff like this, or whatever the case may be with our various routes. We can also release B so on and so forth. But again, that's our base look. Somehow, by using these receivers, we want to stretch that deep zone defender and make him choose a side. Let's give you some specific examples of what I'm talking about as far as stretching the defense and running routes at intermediate levels. First of all, on our base pass protection for B, if our quarterback is right-handed, many of the times we will simply align B on the left side so that he can help protect the back side of the quarterback. We simply have him use a backer to end read, very similar to most of our pass protections. Upon the snap of the ball, he simply steps up and he's checking for any type of linebacker blitz. If we get one of these linebackers blitzing, especially this guy here, we'll simply step up and engage. If the linebacker takes his pass drop, then we'll simply release to the defensive end and help double with the offensive tackle. Note here we can also have an outside read. We check backer first inside the defensive end, and now we can also read to the outside for any sort of corner blitz that we may receive or safety blitz, and we can step out and pick that up. So that's B's basic read as far as the pass protection is concerned. Again, this is assuming your quarterback is right-handed and would have his back side to the left here. We'll start off by giving you some base examples of how we can stretch cover 1 or cover 3 by using the 2 deep go routes and making the middle zone defender choose. This first example is pistol left, double, that's our formation. We've got a double twins, pistol left double, 300, and we use the numbers 300 because when the quarterback receives the snap from the center within the shotgun set, we want him only taking maximum of 1, 2, 3 steps back to get himself enough depth. We don't want him taking any more than 3 steps. Okay, so pistol left double, 300, and we simply call this XY choice. XY choice, and we are again making this deep zone defender choose which side he's going to defend. So once again, we start off, we release inside, slightly inside, and we release inside. There's our stretch routes. There's our 2 stretch routes. We simply want to read the free safety. We're going to read the free safety. The moment he chooses a side, we're going to throw opposite of his movements. We're going to throw opposite of his movements. Okay? So if he moves to this side, note, once we get him to choose, we've got one-on-one situations with the defensive corners. That's what we're looking for. So once again, the base read is on most of these stretch routes, these base stretch routes versus cover 1 or cover 3, double go routes on the outside, make the middle zone defender choose, and throw opposite of his initial movement. Okay? So once again, he moves here, we're throwing deep, we've got one-on-one there, and vice versa. In this base example here, our 2 inside receivers, our 2 slot receivers, whatever you want to call them, are both running sideline settle routes at approximately 15 yards. We can shorten or lengthen these routes based upon the speed of each individual receiver. We'll have an inside release, we'll push hard, and we're going to settle to the outside, working to find the open area. If the free safety hangs in the middle and doesn't give us a true read, we're going to come back to the level 2 route, which is our Z or H sideline settle in this case, and basically we're going to go to the side that the quarterback is throwing. For example, if he's a right-handed quarterback, our base read is first going to be free safety's movements. If he hangs in the middle here, then we're going to come back to this receiver. This can also be predetermined based upon personnel you are facing, and based upon your personnel. If your Z happens to be your better receiver, and you feel as that is who you want to go to, then that's fine also. Note also that if we get some sort of an invert or some sort of a safety blitz upon the snap of the ball, we want to have a predetermined receiver that we want to go to, preferably again to the right if your quarterback is right-handed. The minute we see that, the minute he inverts or blitzes, we know we've got one-on-one to the outside, and that's where we're going to automatically go. Once again, B is on base pass protection. He steps up. He's reading here. He's looking for this, or possibly even this. If we get both linebackers blitzing, he's got to pick up nearest to his side. So in a case where both of them come, he's got to pick up the linebacker to his side, and also the linebacker to the backside of the quarterback, where we feel the quarterback has a better chance of seeing this and getting away from the blitz. Once again, we read backer to end, help double on the defensive end, and looking for any type of outside corner blitz. So there's our base example, pistol left double 300 XY choice from the basic shotgun formation. And once again, this is our base stretch pass game, looking to make that middle zone defender choose a side. In this next example, we're pistol left double 300 X, Y choice, and we're going to go H drag. Pistol left double 300 X, Y choice, H drag. Once again, we've got the base stretch routes here. That's our number one read. Reading the free safety's movements. Once he chooses a side, we're going deep to one-on-one situations with our two outside receivers. In this case here, Z still runs his sideline settle route at 15. And now we've got H drag, preferably at about 8 to 10 yards, keeping a little shallow and running slightly underneath the Z sideline. Once we approach the halfway point of our formation, we want H to start to settle down and look for the open area of the zone. Look for the open window. Same thing here, checks backer to end. The quarterback's first read is deep stretch routes coming back to the Z sideline and the H drag if the deep routes are not there. That's pistol left double, 300 XY choice, H drag. This next example is very effective versus some sort of man under coverage. We simply call this pistol left double, 300 XY choice, drag. Or we could call it double drag, whatever the case may be. We simply say drag. We've got our base stretch routes here with X and Y. There's the XY choice, making him choose. Once again, that's our base read. Anytime those deep stretch routes are there versus cover 1 or cover 3, that's where we're going. That is exactly where we're going. Here we've got a double drag at approximately 12 yards. Crossing in the middle of the field, and we're simply looking, if we get a man under type situation with these two, we're simply looking to rub those two defenders off on each other. Again, that's a pretty effective route versus any type of man or man under coverage you may see. Pistol left double, 300 XY choice, drag, or if you want to call it double drag. Our next example, we're going to use the inside receivers on the choice routes. So this is going to be pistol left double, 300 Z H choice. Pistol left double, 300 Z H choice. We changed this up a little bit. Remember when we ran our base choice route with X and Y, we had Z and H on settle sideline routes to the outside. In this case here, we're going to release slightly to the outside. We're not using a switch technique here, we're just releasing slightly to the outside. And then X and Y, also releasing to the outside, are going to run the settle routes to the inside at approximately 15 yards. Once again, this is a simple change up to the base choice route. If we've conditioned the defense a little bit, where X and Y are always running the deep go routes, now we can change up a little bit, use the inside receivers on the deep stretch routes, and settle with X and Y from the outside. Once again, the choice route, we're making him choose a side, make the choice. If he hangs in the middle, we'll come back to the set of sideline settle routes, and B is still on his base pass protection, reading backer to end to the outside. Pistol left double, 300 ZH choice. This next example, we're going to use Y on a drag route from the outside. Pistol left, double, 300 ZH choice, Y drag. Once again, Z and H release slightly to the outside, creating the stretch routes. There's our choice routes, our choice stretch routes. X is still going to settle at 15, and he can increase that depth a little bit if he's got good speed. We're going to drag Y across at 8 to 10. And once again, once he passes the midpoint of the formation, we want him to start settling down, looking for the open window within the zone defense. Same pass protection for B. Quarterback once again reads, first of all, free safety in the middle, and then comes back to the X settle and the Y drag. And note here that these stretch routes that we're running, these are not high percentage routes. Even if we can get a one-on-one situation, for example, if we look off tough to the left, as the quarterback's dropping, if he looks off tough to the left, and we get a one-on-one right here, we've still got to throw the ball 30, 40 yards downfield and hope that we can make the completion. So once again, the shotgun offense, our shotgun offense is a very aggressive offense, and basically you're looking for the home run, you're attacking, and you're going with high risk, low percentage type pass routes on these base stretch routes. So just to add in a couple notes here as we continue through. Number one, you've got to have some talented receivers and some pretty good speed to be able to run stuff like this, especially at the high school level. And also, you've got to have a quarterback who is able to sit and throw the ball deep downfield and do it accurately. Okay, so there are some personnel things you're going to have to think about as you decide if you want to implement some of these shotgun offense stretch pass game techniques. This next play, once again, we're going to use a double drag technique, and we're going to use Z and H on the choice routes, the choice stretch routes. So here we are in pistol left double once again, 300 Z H choice drag. Pistol left double, 300 ZH choice drag. Once again, Z and H release slightly to the outside and create the stretch choice routes. And here X and Y are dragging at approximately 12 yards and crossing in the middle of the field. And let me again just make a note. This type of crossing route in the middle of the field, accompanied by the two stretch routes, this is very effective versus any sort of man or man under coverage. This next example is a little different technique we've developed. We simply call this an influence technique by our receivers. And again, it's very effective versus a cover 1 or cover 3 look where we have a deep middle zone defender. We call this first example pistol left double, 300 X Y choice influence. Pistol left double, 300 XY choice influence. X and Y are now back on the choice stretch routes, releasing to the outside and creating the double stretch or the double choice route there. Once again, making that free safety choose. What we want to do here in helping the free safety choose, we're actually trying to influence the free safety to stay at home or to pick up one of our inside receivers. Once again, letting our two outside receivers get on one-on-one situations with their defensive corner. So what we'll do, we will release both the Z and the H directly at the free safety on post stems, and then we'll settle to the outside at approximately 15 yards running the sideline settle routes. However, we're going to try and influence that free safety by, once again, we'll release here, and we're going to run post stems directly at the free safety. And we want him, if he's going to hang in the middle of the field, we want him to see one of these deep post routes coming at him, and now we want him to reverse field and hopefully step up or hesitate. And once he does that, we've got one-on-one here, and we've got one-on-one here, and now we have a chance to throw to one of those choice routes with one-on-one situations where we feel we have a little better chance to complete the pass without free safety help. Now once again, once we get to approximately 15 yards, these receivers are going to break down and settle to the outside. Settle to the outside. Another little simple trick, and these are simple little things. Many times within our base pass game, whatever type of pass routes we're running, we try and emphasize to our receivers not to make eye contact with the defensive secondary members. In this case here, where we're running some sort of influence route, we want to get that free safety's attention. So we want to look at him, we want to try to make eye contact with him, we want to try to influence him to stay at home, so once again we can get one-on-one situations with our outside receivers. And B's pass protection stays the same. In this next example, we're going to introduce our basic switch technique by the receivers. We simply call this here pistol left, double once again for the formation, double twins, and we're going to go H, X, choice, influence. Pistol left double, 300, left out 300, 300, H, X, choice, influence. Note now the two receivers who are going to be responsible for the choice routes or the double stretch route, H and X, whereas before it was either X and Y together or Z and H together. In this case here, on the back side with H and Y, we are now going to use a switch technique where the receiver on the inside releases to the outside and vice versa, the receiver on the outside releases to the inside. So a simple switch technique, H releases to the outside and runs the go route. We're going to run influence routes with the two receivers not running the stretch routes. In this case here, Y and Z. Y and Z, because X is going to be on one of the choice routes. X releases. X releases on the go route. We've got an inside release here. And he's running the post route, or the post stem, directly at the safety, trying to influence him to stay home, and then we break those off into sideline settle routes. And once again, this is our basic switch technique over here, releasing from the line of scrimmage. Another example of using a switch technique on the influence route, pistol left double, 300, YZ, choice, influence. Now Y and Z are on the influence routes. Y releases there to the outside. Z uses switch technique with X and runs the other deep go route. And now we have X releasing to the inside on the post stem, and H doing the same thing. So once again, a little different wrinkle there. Now we're using a switch technique with Z and X on the influence route. In this next example, we're going to use a double switch technique with both pairs of twins. Pistol left double, 300, H, Z, choice influence. Now H and Z are running the stretch routes, and X and Y from the outside will be running the influence routes. So both pairs use switch technique. H and Z on the go routes, and X and Y both release to the inside on the influence routes. In this play here, we're going to mix up the stretch routes a little bit. We call this one here pistol left double, 300, HX, choice, switch. That tells us that we're going to use a double switch technique on each side, choice, switch, and H and X are responsible for the stretch routes. So here we're using a switch technique here and a switch technique here. So now our stretch routes are a little different. Instead of releasing to the outside, we're releasing to the inside. Z releases to the outside on the switch technique and settles in at about 15. Y releases to the inside and settles out at about 15. Now we've still got our two settle routes looking for the open windows within the zone defense. We've still got our two deep go routes making the spree safety choose. And we're using a double switch technique. Little different wrinkle, helps our receivers get off the line, helps confuse defensive secondary coverage. Once again, in these examples, B's pass protection is not going to change, reading backer to end and looking for any outside blitzes. There's pistol left double, 300, HX, choice, switch. Using the same type technique, we can mix up again the stretch receivers and the receivers running the sideline settle type routes. In this example here, pistol left double, 300, Y, Z, choice, switch. Once again, we're going to use the double switch technique with both pairs of receivers. In this case here, Y and Z are running the stretch routes. So Z releases to the outside using a switch technique with X. Y uses a switch technique with H, releases to the inside and runs the stretch route. And now we have switch technique here. When we release to the inside with X, he's going to settle turning out, sideline settle there, and H releases to the outside and settles in. So once again, we have our base stretch routes accompanied with two settle type routes looking for the open area within the zone defense. Let's look now at some ways of attacking cover 2. And what we do versus cover 2 is we attack with what we refer to as our throw side receivers, generally our receivers to the right, our twins to the right, and we'll also attack with our backside receivers. Our backside receivers generally to the left. Now we've developed a couple techniques that have been very effective for us, and especially effective from the shotgun offense. Number one reason why they are especially effective from the shotgun set, or in this case the pistol set, whatever the case, when our quarterback is in shotgun, number one, we feel as though this gives us a little better time to throw the ball, and number two, we feel as though pass protection is a little easier in that our quarterback has already gotten depth and should be able to find his receivers more easily. Once again, we've got a couple techniques that we have found very effective for us. Basically, versus cover two with our throw side receivers, we're going to attack with a combination of a deep corner route accompanied with an out type route or an under route or a hitch route. For example, a basic example would be Z releasing on a deep corner route, attacking the soft spot of the zone in cover two, and we could have a simple under route where X was running, turns to the outside, and simply runs the under route. The idea of the outside route here is to keep this corner occupied and to keep these defenders underneath so that we can get behind them with our corner route in order to attack the soft spot of that zone. Now on the backside, generally we're going to attack with these two receivers working together. And we have developed, again, especially from the gun type sets where we have a little more time to throw, we have developed a technique in which we refer to simply as the follow technique, where one receiver is going to follow the other. Okay? Where one receiver is the lead receiver and the other receiver follows directly in his path or trails the receiver. For example, in this case, Y is moved up on the line of scrimmage, so he naturally has a head start on H. And what we want to do is release, Y wants to release a little bit to the inside, and H wants to release a little bit to the outside, so that as they begin their route on the backside, H will actually be trailing or following Y within about 2 to 3 yards. Now we don't want them to get too close because obviously we don't want them to trip over one another. However, we want them to be tight and we want them to be close together, in that if we're going to get some sort of man coverage, and even versus a true zone, when these two break into their routes, it's going to be very tough to follow them. So for example, what we'll do is we'll have either Y or H run a corner route, and the other receiver will run a backside dig route. So in this example, let's say that Y is going to run the dig route, and H is going to run the corner. Once again, when we attack cover two, we're going to trail or follow one another. So Y releases to the inside, and he's going to run a dig at approximately 18 yards. He breaks it off as if he's running a post and digs across the backside, looking for the open area within the zone. Once again, versus a cover two look, where these two are playing a true cover two, taking deep halves of the field, many times directly behind this linebacker and directly in front of those safeties, we can find a nice soft spot right in the middle of the field versus cover two. We've got soft spot here with the corner route and a soft spot here with the dig route. And now, and I won't draw the line across Y's, but H is releasing directly to the outside, and right behind Y, he follows his footpaths, and he waits for Y to break. As soon as Y makes his break, H makes his break to the corner. So once again, this follow technique on the backside really makes it tough for these backside defenders to see where we're running the route. We could also have Y run the corner route, where he comes here, breaks it to the corner, Once again, H releases trailing or following him, and once Y makes his break, then H would dig across on the back side. So generally, that's our basic attack scheme versus cover 2 from the shotgun offense. Let's take a couple specific looks at routes that we use then versus cover 2. This first example here is pistol left, double, 300 Z, H, corner. That tells Z and H that they are running the corner routes. They're the two that are going to be running the corner routes. In this case here, like we showed you a few minutes ago here, Z runs the deep corner, attacking the soft spot of cover 2. X is going to run an under route at approximately 5 to 6 yards. So he releases, and we want him turning to the outside using a curl in technique, turning to the outside, and then running the under route. Running the under route. We want to keep these defenders honest, open up the deep corner for Z. We also know that H is running a corner. So as we release, we've got the follow trail technique here. H is going to run the corner, so Y knows that he's going to break into the backside dig, looking for the open soft spot versus cover 2 in the middle of the field. H releases to the outside, trails and follows, waits for Y to make his break, and then breaks behind him on the corner route. And note here, we're going to look for these deep routes first. We're going to look deep corner. We can come back to the dig, and we've also got the under route as an outlet type route versus cover 2. Once again, B is still pass protecting with the same method, reading backer to end. So there's our first example of attacking cover 2 using the follow and trail technique on the backside and attacking with some sort of combination of a corner, under, out, hitch route on the front side, throw side. Let's throw in a couple different wrinkles now versus cover 2. In this example here, we've got pistol left, double, 300, X, H, corner. Pistol left, double, 300, X, H, corner. In this case here, we're going to use a switch technique by X and Z on the throw side. X releases to the inside. And then breaks into the deep corner route. Z, switch technique with X, releases to the outside. And now he's running the under route at 5 to 6. Now Z here, you can use either technique. You can use the curl in technique if you want, or you can have Z simply turn to the inside and run the under route. On the back side, we know what? That H is going to run the corner, so Y releases to the inside slightly. We know H is running the corner, so Y has the dig at 18. H releases to the outside using the follow trail technique and breaks to the corner behind Y after Y makes his break. So there's a little different wrinkle changing up on the front side here using a switch technique, and now with X running the corner route instead of Z. Another small change up versus cover 2. Pistol left, double, 300, X, Y, corner. Now we've got both of the outside receivers running the corner routes. On the front side, we're going to use a switch technique again, with X releasing to the inside and running the deep corner route. Z, switch technique here. And he's running the under route at 5 to 6 yards. Now on the back side, what do we have this time? We have Y corner. Y corner. So Y releases slightly to the inside. And now he breaks on the corner route. H uses the exact same technique. following on the release, releasing slightly to the outside. He waits for Y to make his break, and now he runs the backside dig. So you can see that we're attacking with basically the same routes, but we have all kinds of different little wrinkles of how to release our receivers, giving the defense a totally different look, yet attacking the same base coverage with the basic same routes, the corner routes, the under route, and the backside dig. Once again, very effective versus finding these soft spots within a true cover 2 look. And at times here, if we get a drop or if we get a blitz, we can hit that under route also. And once again, these basic backer to end, checking for outside blitzes, that does not change up within the 300 pass game here. Another small change-up we can use when we're looking for a possession type reception from the gun offense. When we're attacking cover 2, we're going pistol left, double, 300X post. 300X post. In this case here, X simply is running a deep post route and attempting to clear this throw side safety right here. If the safety inverts, or if the safety jumps on our Z sideline settle route, then we'll hit the X post. But generally in this case, what we're attempting to do is clear that throw side safety with the deep X post, and now on the back side, we're going to go Y corner, and H is going to run the dig in this case. But once again, we're trying to open up these two routes right there. Those two routes for possession type throws with using the X post to clear. Now note here that we could also run something like this. We could go X post, and then we could go Z, Y corner. We're now, Z is breaking into the corner route, and we also have Y on the corner route. Now we're attacking again that soft spot in the zone defense. Just another little wrinkle you can throw in there. A good change up. Using the X to clear that safety, and now we're running the corner route behind these corners. Okay? So that's pistol left double, 300X post, with possibly a ZY corner added on there. We could also change this up on the backside, remember, and we could go ZH corner, where H would simply run the corner route, and now Y would break and run the dig route. So again, simple little change-ups, releasing our receivers different ways. In this case here, using a clearing technique to clear that throw side safety, and attacking cover 2 with basically the same routes, but doing it from all sorts of differing ways and different receiver releases from the line of scrimmage. Okay, so now we've established both routes that are effective versus a cover 1 or a cover 3 type coverage, and also we've covered ways to attack cover 2 using the shotgun type formations. Let's now look at some specific routes we have developed that are effective versus a man-under type situation or a true man defensive secondary scheme. Basically what we want to do when we run into a team that likes to run some sort of man-under coverage, we like to get in some sort of a 3-receiver set, where in this case here, we've got 3 receivers to the right side, and we refer to this right here as our tray formation, We're not in trips, but we've got 3 receivers to one side, and once again, this is our tray formation. And what we'll do is we're going to use these 3 receivers in a route combination where we want generally our outside receiver attempting to rub his man off, breaking off the butt of the other receivers. Okay? So in this case here, our first example is pistol left, tray, and then we've got 300 Z under. 300 Z under, where Z is going to be attempting to rub his man off of the other 2 receivers. Now, in this case here, we've got kind of a tight tray formation for the purposes of drawing this up. If you want to get in a true spread type tray formation, you can have Z motion in before the ball is snapped. But what we'll do here is we'll use a simple technique. X on the backside simply releases downfield, basically as a decoy. We're really not looking at him. Once again, this is a man-under type defensive scheme. And what we'll do here is we'll have H break directly upfield, and as Z releases, he's going to try and attempt to simply rub his man right off of H's butt. So we'll actually come and release and try to release as close to H as we possibly can behind him. And we're trying to bump off this defender as he's coming across here. He's following Z. Okay, now he's going to have to make a choice because H is right here. This is H's body. We want this corner to have to make a choice. He is either going to have to trail over the top here or duck underneath and follow that way. Whatever the case, we want that corner to have to make the choice, and hopefully we can get rid of him. Now what we'll do with Y here, Y will release on a flat route behind Z and behind H. A flat or an arrow route. And if we're getting a true man under look, B's going to go with Y. This corner here is going to drop with H. And now we've got B running a flat route here. If he's manned here, he'll go with him there. And now we've got B out of the way trailing Y. H is breaking upfield. And now if we can rub this corner off by bumping him off, we've got Z breaking across the middle of the field with absolutely nobody on him. This is a great way to get a good athlete with the ball in open field and with a chance to make a big play. So once again, that's a basic route we've developed. It's a little more effective if this is more of a tighter tray formation, and we're actually getting into the area where you've heard probably some talk about using the cluster formation. That's basically what we're attempting to do here, is use a cluster type technique where we've got a tight tray here, a tight tray formation, and we're simply trying to rub defenders off in a man-under scheme. So once again, pistol left tray, 300 Z under, very effective versus a man-under defensive secondary scheme. So now we've established, with the look at the shotgun offense, we've got ways of attacking cover 1 and cover 3, cover 2, and a good base example there of how you can defeat a man under coverage from a gun type set. That's all the time I have today. My time has run out for this afternoon. I'd like to thank you for this part of the presentation, and I hope I've given you a few ideas that you can implement within your spread, stretch, shotgun type offenses. These are, again, all methods that have been very effective for us. We have used all of them, and I hope you can pick up a couple things that you can implement into your offense that will help you down the road and help you experience a little more success. I'll be around here for a little bit if anyone wants to come up and look through my books. There's a few more little wrinkles within the shotgun offense that I don't have time to cover today. However, all of the schemes are covered in my book, and what we just covered for you today is our base shotgun offense and what we use the most when we decide to get in shotgun. And once again, all of those routes and those techniques have been very effective for us. And I think if you're looking for some ways to help your spread shotgun type offenses, these schemes we've covered for you today can be a big help. So once again, thank you, and I'll be around for a few minutes if anyone wants to come up and discuss the presentations today and ask questions, so on and so forth.